In this lecture, we'll be taking a look at the difference between computed properties and methods. So over here, in our previous lecture, we discussed about computed properties. We can define one by declaring it inside the computed attribute. So here we have this reverse message. Now we can simply copy this whole thing and put it inside the methods block as well. So what is the difference between having a method over here and then a computed property? Because ultimately it's looking like a method and it's giving us the result exactly in the same way as methods are giving us the result. So why we should go with computed properties? The reason behind computed properties is that it involves caching. So basically, whenever you create a computed property and make use of it, it gets cached based on the dependency. So here, this reverse message that we see is based on this content attribute. And when the content will change, this function will be recomputed. Otherwise, it will remain as is. So it gets cached, and no matter how many times you access it, like over here, I can just copy and paste it a number of times, and it will not be evaluated every time it's being called. And that's the difference here. So when you call a method, no matter how many times you call it, it will be executed every time or evaluated every time. But with computed properties, it gets evaluated only once, and when the dependency changes, for instance, if I go ahead and update the content over here, then only it gets re-evaluated. So obviously you will get a faster response with computed properties. And computed properties comes in handy when you have an expensive logic which has been executed. For instance, something which requires looping through a huge array and doing a lot of computations inside that array. So that becomes an expensive function, and that you can put inside a computed property so that it gets cached and can be used easily. So that will become much faster in that way. So wherever you think you do not require caching, you can go for methods. Otherwise, computed properties are there to help you out. In the next lecture, we'll be covering computed properties versus watched properties.